Developed by Vertex Pop, Super Crush KO is a game that surprised me in the most delightful of ways. From the colourful visuals to the downright addictive gameplay, there's plenty on offer here that is bound to satisfy both fans of the genre as well as those looking for something new to get into. Essentially a side-scrolling beat-em-up, players assume the role of a young lady known as Karen as she sets out to save her cat Chubbs, who unfortunately was kidnapped by aliens. The premise is entirely bonkers, but it does well to set up what Super Crush KO gets right, and that's its gameplay. For anyone familiar with the likes of Super Metroid or say Castlevania, you'll feel instantly at home. The range of abilities at your disposal really helps even the odds against the hordes of enemies you'll be encountering. The handy double jump and dash are essential whilst traversing each environment, as well as evading incoming attacks. And when things really start to heat up, you'll be relying on the mechanic more and more often. But what makes it even more special is the way in which it can be combined with attacking that ultimately, when fully mastered, will make you untouchable. There are several ways in which to attack enemies, the most basic being a standard punch and kick, one being a spin attack that is perfect for attacking several enemies at once, your trusty blaster that is perfect for keeping distant targets at bay, and a few more that unlock along the way. Tying all of this together is the combo system, which rewards players in various ways, mainly through a ranking system that increases your rank the longer you hold on to a single combo, and with online leaderboards included, there's plenty of incentive to go for those higher scores. Now visually, Super Crush KO is sublime. Whether playing docked or on the go, each environment lights up the screen in a truly vivid way. The sort of pastel art aesthetic lends it a unique style that looks incredible during motion. Each animation, explosion, and type of enemy receives the same care, which results in a great visual package. But just as intoxicating as the visuals is the audio, which quite possibly is my favourite aspect of the experience. Playing this one with headphones or a good sound system is a must, as each sound effect packs a serious weight, as well as the music being some of the best I've ever heard in a game. Overall, Super Crush KO is an enjoyable game to pick up and play. If you're a fan of the genre and are looking to get stuck into something new, it will provide an immediately rewarding experience, and at such a low price, Super Crush KO is easily one of the best options. I've been following Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey for quite some time over the course of its development. Coming from the man behind the Assassin's Creed series, it instantly caught my attention. Now Ancestors is a completely unique type of experience. It's presented as a survival game of sorts that sees the player controlling a member of a primate clan with the responsibility of keeping them alive through eating, drinking and sleeping, with the primary goal being for you and your clan to survive, develop and evolve. The game opens up in an African jungle well over 10 million years ago and presents an open world filled with a diverse set of wildlife in which to explore. Players will find themselves climbing trees, surveying the land and encountering predators that will ultimately open up even more areas to scout. Over the course of the game, you'll locate various items such as food, weapons and tools, which result in your clan becoming more intelligent and capable as new skills become available, such as being able to make leaves into bedding and utilizing medicinal plants for healing. This is the overall hook of the game, and over the course of the experience, your clan will slowly evolve into a new species thanks to the various skills which can be learned. It's all presented in a sort of skill tree known as the neural system that facilitates this aspect of the game. Each unlocked skill is passed on to the next generation as you successfully see your clan evolve across 8 million years in which to reach the game's conclusion. There's a lot to do and see, which will surely satisfy the many completionists out there. Unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and roses though, as the minute-to-minute gameplay can be quite slow in its execution. Couple this with the at times bizarre way in which your character reacts to the environment, such as not grabbing onto trees correctly, and you have an experience that can at times become quite frustrating. Visually, Ancestors is a bit of a mixed bag as well. On one hand, it can at times look incredibly beautiful, especially when surveying the different types of environments that make up the experience. On the other hand though, character models can look quite cartoonish in their appearance, especially certain types of animals you'll be encountering over the course of the game that in all honesty look downright ridiculous at points, which presents a stark contrast to the often gorgeous surroundings. It's not a deal breaker though, as each location is diverse enough in its appearance that the several shortcomings can easily be overlooked and still appreciated when presented as a whole. One aspect that suffers no shortcomings though has to be the audio design. The soundtrack manages to elevate the experience and does well to keep you immersed within it. From the sweeping, majestic scores to the quiet, tranquil tones of the night, it really mixes well with the overall premise of evolution and lends an epic sensation to the proceedings. Overall, Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey won't be for everyone. It is achieves everything it sets out to do, but due to the rather slow-paced nature of the experience and the inherent lack of replay value, it might have the potential to turn some players off. I, however, had a blast playing through it and would gladly recommend it for those looking for something entirely unique. It's a solid game, even with some certain sound and visual issues. It shines bright with a great soundtrack, intriguing gameplay, and a great story. Hardcore Mecha shares much in common with the likes of Mega Man and is presented as a 2D side-scrolling action shooter that conveys a surprisingly deep narrative. It all clearly takes inspiration from the likes of Patlabor and Gundam. It's a story that is filled to the brim with cliches and twists that many will see coming from a mile off, but the tale is more than just trivial. You'll find yourself becoming invested not just in the survival of your pilot, but also the rest of the group that makes up your ranks. The high-stakes story coupled with the banter from your foes really adds to Hardcore Mecha's sense of momentum. Gameplay is where Hardcore Mecha really comes into its own though. At its core, the single player experience has you pilot a mech which involves long range and melee attacks, as well as a variety of dash moves, which allows you to evade enemy attacks and rush towards them whenever they're vulnerable. As you progress through the mission based campaign, you'll earn money and level up, which lets you purchase new weapons, abilities and boosts. Watching your mech grow from the standard model to a powerful robot of destruction is really satisfying. The missions themselves are full of variety in the form of unique situations, such as stealth segments, as well as epic boss battles that'll have you on the edge of your seat. On top of all this, there's both local and online multiplayer, which gives you the opportunity to really show off your skill, as well as an extra mode which is unlocked upon completing the game that sees the player being pitted against a never-ending horde of enemies, known as Simulation Mode. Defeating each enemy earns you currency that can be used to upgrade your mech, or buy completely new machines altogether, resulting in an addictive grind, which is a nice touch once players are done with the main meat of the experience. It can be a bit unforgiving at times, but Hardcore Mecha is quite an impressive package when all of its aspects are brought together and presented as a whole. Visually, the game is a real looker on the PlayStation 4. The rather simple art style doesn't quite gel that well with the overall tone of the story, but it's quite easy to overlook that during play. Each mech, environment and enemy are designed so exceptionally well that it soon becomes one of the most appealing aspects of the experience. On the audio front, Hardcore Mecha is a bit hit and miss, but that might just come down to personal taste, as the main sound effects of each mech, weapon and movement are exceptional, but the highly obnoxious and overbearing J-Rock soundtrack left me rather turned off when it comes to the music that's presented within the game. Again, this is just personal preference, and there's many out there that will probably enjoy the soundtrack just as much as I didn't. Overall, Hardcore Mecha is a competent experience that definitely deserves a look by fans of the side-scrolling genre. The sheer level of passion involved in the project is clearly evident and helps propel it into something that should be experienced by mech lovers and those looking for a quick pick up and play title to get into as well.